The gloves are coming off. We're about to go full court press. It's time to play ball. Listen in as we tackle everything in the world of sports right now. Throw your hat in the ring at 516-572-7440. Huddle up. This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Oh, baby, from the studios of WHPC and WHPC HD in majestic Garden City, New York, and streaming live all over the world. 90.3 WHPC, iHeartRadio app, and of course, www.nccradio.org. This is WHPC Sports Talk, everybody, where we'll give you everything you want in the way of sports and things, and then after that, stuff. Yes, I would be clapping for that, too. I'm Nick Ohrnberger. I'm your host. Thank you so much for joining us. Joined alongside me, Eric Fischetti. Eric, where'd you go?
I was at Disney.
Oh, there he is. He came back from Disney.
I was at the happiest place on earth, and then the Giants.
And then, that happened. We broke the...
Did you break it on my show?
No, we broke the OBJ news to you personally on text message, and Eric was losing his mind.
Can I just give a quick shout-out,
I'm actually going to read the entire thread at one point. Go ahead.
Okay, just let me give a shout-out. Our former host, who was actually his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jacob Volk, by the way.
Happy birthday, Jacob Volk. I should have put it down.
When I had my outburst about Beckham, he was the only guy to call me to try and calm me down, and I said I appreciate it, but I'm at the happiest place on earth right now with Emily, of course. I'm not talking football right now, but I just wanted to let you know I greatly, greatly appreciate you looking out for me, so thank you to a wonderful
He's great
friend.
like that. Jacob called me after that bogus penalty that...
D. Ford?
No, that wasn't bogus. We all know D. Ford was offside. But he did call me during the bogus penalty before that, the pass and the quarterback interference on Tom Brady. He goes, Nick, you're absolutely right. That was absolute crap. Those refs should be ashamed of themselves.
That's really good.
I know, that's a lot like Jacob.
honestly, Jacob, thank you for being such an amazing friend.
He's a good guy. He's
really,
a good
really
friend.
Appreciate it.
Also joined with us is Ross Levine.
Oh, hey, Ross.
Ross, we had a fun show on Monday. Eric, you weren't there.
I know.
Ross shined. Ross, just point after point.
Same seat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's his seat, Ross.
Yeah, it's the seat. It's the power seat for Ross, and also, you know what we got out of him?
Did you get a rant?
No.
What'd you get?
We got an official Twitter account that he knew at the time, which was very special. Thank you, Ross.
You remembered! Yeah. What is it, by the way?
Ross the Boss at Ross the Boss 131.
It's a good name!
You know who else is Ross the Boss? Ross Johnston of your New York Islanders.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Speaking of the Islanders, by the way, this is an interesting weekend. And you know, do we want to start there, or do we want to shovel off somewhere else while we wait for... Because Dan Morales is here also, and he's bringing in our brackets. And when he brings in these brackets, somewhere near the halfway mark of the show, we're going to give you our March Madness brackets. I watched Zion all weekend. The ACC tournament was just highlight reel play after highlight reel play. Did you see the 50-foot bounce pass?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
Emily didn't let me watch anything. We're like, no, we're having fun. Okay.
All right. Hey, listen.
I tried to sneak it while I was at Disney. I'm like, oh, well, Duke's playing
listen,
well.
Eric, I rarely expect much from you, so don't worry.
Wow.
Harsh.
That is rude. That is actually.
You know it's a joke.
That is rude.
But
my guy.
Harsh stuff.
By the way, interesting side note. We kept on telling people Monday and Friday that you weren't here, right? And we had to come up with an excuse. Obviously, you know my line, Eric is on assignment. Eric is on assignment. That's always been...
I think I know what you're going to do.
You know what I mean? That was... that's always been my go-to. But instead of telling people you were on assignment, what I said, Eric's in the hospital because...
I got a beer bottle thrown.
So that was kind of our excuse for where you were.
I love it. Thank you.
So, Eric, how are you feeling?
Well, you want me to start from the weekend?
No. You know what?
Because that was an interesting weekend.
Yeah, it was. You know what? Since Eric, you haven't been on the airwaves in over a week, I want you to decide where are we starting today.
Well, you know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say. You want to do Giants.
I want to do Giants.
Okay, so we're going to start with the Giants today, and that's kind of how it's going to go. And also joined today, just handed us our NCAA brackets, the man, the myth, the legend, my boy.
You know who it is?
Daniel Morales, everybody.
I'm doing my entrance. Why you got to be like that?
Yeah, why you got to ruin his hustle and flow? There he is, Dan Morales.
Are you a fan of Charles Barkley?
No.
That was terrible.
That was terrible. Anyway,
Jack, that was terrible.
Thank whoever turned on the air just now. Thank you.
Blessing.
Well, it just went on by itself then.
Oh, well, somebody likes
that. Means the temperature
anyway,
probably.
So I don't know if you know this, Eric. I was on the way here listening to the fan. I know, boo, listen to WHPC. But I was listening to the fan, Dave Gettleman, on with Mike today.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm going to let you start this. With all the things that you need to get off your chest, Eric, I'm literally turning off everyone else's mic because I know there's a lot you need to talk about. So, afterwards, I will try and combat anything you say with things that may have been resolved through what he said on air today.
Is this my time to shine?
This is, Eric, the floor is yours, my friend. Please tell us your thoughts on everything that's happened with the Giants over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, my God. This is going to be terrible. I'm going to cry. But, all right, so let me just start from the first trade that happened. That was Olivier Vernon getting sent to the Browns for Kevin Zeitler, the offensive lineman who was first in pass protection, first in run protection. Great. Awesome. Give Eli Manning a chance to throw to Sterling Shepard, to Evan Ingram, to Odell Beckham Jr. All right. Awesome. Can't wait. You're giving room for Saquon Barkley to run. Great. Because now you got Solder. You got Will Hernandez. I'm so not in the football mood. I'm trying to remember everybody's name. They re-signed Spencer Pulley, which was cool. Kevin Zeitler's going to be on the other side. And then they still got to fit in one other offensive line
And you
spot.
have the center, Houlihan. What's his name? Hanahan? Jalapeno.
Oh, yeah, John Jalapeno. Thank you.
I'm joking. I know his name. I just like saying Hanahan or jalapenos. Oh, wait. Yeah.
But yeah. So, yeah, you re-signed John Jalapeno, which was, he did good. He got hurt in week 2, actually, and he was out for the rest of the season. So, let's go to my favorite day as a tear runs down my face, my damn face. The New York Giants traded Odell Beckham Jr., a move that surprisingly was not a shock to a lot of people, except for me. So if you would like to indulge me, I will read through my reaction, because this is my reaction, and I did.
I was sad at the time.
Sad is not the word I would use to describe how I was feeling.
Much better.
I was annoyed.
Yeah, so
I just want to preface this by saying, if you were in this group chat with Eric, what you heard, you could literally hear the words that he wrote.
You heard me.
I heard Eric's voice in my head.
That's a fact.
And I know we're going to hear him today, because when Eric hasn't listened to the show in a week. He's been in Disney. That's all he's been doing. When he hears my opinion on everything, there might be a fist fight in the studio. So,
all right.
Eric, continue.
All right. So my phone died. All right, let me just give you that preface. My phone died, so I'm at Disney without a care in the world. Obviously, with Emily, if you don't know her, she's 6
What
years.
a wonderful
But
girlfriend for you, Eric.
I love that woman very much. So let me just say this: my phone was dead. Right, I get back to the hotel, charging my phone. Group chat's going nuts. So
thanks to me, I used to send the pictures. I'm like always the first one sent. I'm like, Eric. I'm like, Eric.
No, Dan. This is not that chat.
I know.
So
I'm just thinking.
Dominic Arbolino goes, ha ha ha. Sorry, but I find this hilarious. Oh wait, hold on, wait, not that. Okay, so Jacob Volk, who texts, Gettleman's rebuilding the team with no vision. That was at 8:56 p.m. So I write back at 9:58 at night, an hour later, and I wrote, I can't say exactly what I wrote, my phone died, what the F happened? And then I wrote back, because nobody answered, what the F happened? Then I wrote back, I'm in shock. I don't even. What the F? What the F? How is Eli Manning still a Giant and not Beckham? Quote, we didn't sign him to trade him. I get you want to listen to all players, but come on. Then I wrote back, if this is the route they're going, why the F do they have Saquon Barkley? To which it got emphasized. So Jacob goes, well, Gettleman didn't know that he was going to do this 12 months ago. That's not fair. So I wrote, fine, fair. I'm just so upset right now. F, F. Then I wrote back, Brown's going to win the AFC North. And then I wrote F again. So, so I wrote back, Beckham and Landry, holy cow. And hold on. There's a lot more. Oh, yeah, then I was, like, in denial. I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to watch? Am I going to watch the Dolphins this year?
I've never seen somebody go through the 5 stages of grief via text message. like, and so quickly. It happened in, less than a minute when John DeFerris left the Islanders. But for Odell Beckham Jr., you lost your mind.
I don't know. I guess the Giants are it's the Yankees, the Giants, and everybody else because at least they win. Yeah. But so then I wrote back. So then I wrote back. Let's hope the Jetropolitans make New York football exciting. And then less than a minute later,
let's go Mets.
Is the Beckham trade is the Beckham trade a trade that gets you fired? And then I wrote back. This is where I'm in stage 5 in acceptance. I understand now at the time why you didn't like the Gettleman hire. And then I wrote, F, this sucks.
Well, here's the deal, buddy. I feel for you, and I know the caller waiting on the line disagrees with me. I happen to agree with him on the Gettleman issue. I just happen to disagree with everybody that this needed to happen. Odell Beckham Jr. needed to not be a Giant anymore.
Is this who I think it is?
It is exactly who you think it is. You know what? Before we go any further, let's just introduce him, the best friend in the whole wide world.
Yeah, I knew it. Okay.
For coming to our sides always when we have an issue, whether it be the Kansas City Chiefs getting snubbed from a Super Bowl appearance, or whether your favorite...
is it who I think it is?
It is.
It is.
Or whether you're having a meltdown about your best player being traded. Even with the Hill thing. First person to text me goes, man, you guys can't catch a break. Jacob Falk from Beyond the Game, everybody. Jacob, how you doing, buddy?
Doing good. How are you?
We're very well. Jacob, how are you taking all this in? I mean, you're a Jets fan, but...
I'm loving this. This is a great birthday gift for me.
I was going to say, you know what he's going to say. Happy birthday, Jacob, by the way.
Happy birthday, Jacob. Happy birthday. I meant to put up a sounder. I couldn't find one, so you know what? Whatever. Happy to have you on air. What's going on, buddy?
Nothing much. I just wanted to say that Eric had left out one very important part of the story.
Wait, which part?
That I called him, and he said, no, I'm at Disney with Emily. Eric, I thought it was Bros Before Hoes. My God.
Okay, can you hang up on him now?
I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that, but Jacob,
look, I hate this trade for the Giants. I think it's terrible. If the Giants were going with a full rebuild, they were cutting Eli, cutting Jenkins, cutting Ogletree, I can understand this. But to then turn around and sign Golden Tate, an inferior receiver, it proves to me that Gettleman has no idea what he's doing. I don't know if you heard him with Francesa today.
I did. I heard the whole interview. Francesa seemed to be...
That did not inspire confidence in me. If I was a Giant fan, Eric, I'm sorry. I wish I could say something to make you happy, but I really can't.
Listen, I did mention it before. That was one of the first things I mentioned, by the way, if you heard it, which clearly you didn't, Jacob.
Yeah, Jacob.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Get with the program,
No,
Jake.
it's okay. No, it's okay. That was the first thing I mentioned. I said that you were a great friend, and you were right by my side, so I really did appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I would want someone to do it for me.
No, I get... Well, there's a lot to cover with the Jets and the Islanders and the Nets. I mean, where do you want me to start?
Oh, my God.
What is it already?
With the Jets.
Listen, the Jets are going to be good. I don't know about a playoff team yet. We'll see how everything plays out.
They're not a playoff team.
Let's see how everything plays out.
You know what? We'll get into that in a little bit. But first, let's stick to the program here, Jake. You're calling in. I want to know, okay, what about this deal don't you like? I get your concept, and I agree with your concept that it seems like Dave Gettleman is running this team with no clear vision. You know I'm on record with you personally saying that. But I don't think the deal's bad. The haul isn't bad.
It's not terrible when you look at what Antonio Brown got, when you look at what Amari Cooper got. They got more for Beckham than what the Raiders and Steelers got, respectively. I understand that, but the simple fact is you're trading away one of the 5 best wide receivers in football.
Understood.
And when you're going to build around, for all intents and purposes, Dwayne Haskins, that's what all the mock drafts are saying, he's going to need an elite wide receiver. And all due respect to Shepard, Tate, Coleman, Latimer, those guys are not elite wide receivers.
Facts.
On their best day, they are not Odell Beckham.
Right. I want to ask you a question.
Dan was animated about that. Wow, facts.
I think they traded him for a couple of reasons. One, he had so many antics with not being a true team player. Exactly. But I think also part of it is that the real reason that they weren't winning. That's the reason why they traded him.
That is such a fallacy. The Giants were not winning not because of Beckham. They weren't winning because of a terrible defense. In none of those years, with the exception of the playoff year, was that Giant defense any good. The idea that they weren't winning because of Beckham is completely ridiculous.
Yeah, but if you're not, I'm with you on that. Sorry to cut you off, Nick. But listen, I'm just going to go back to the Hall really quick. It was Peppers and 2 picks. Peppers, is going to...
Hold on, stop. Don't diminish it. Peppers a first and a third.
I know. I was getting to that.
You got a quarterback's ransom for a wide receiver. This is the part that... I get it, but this is the part I don't get about the people who hate the deal. You want to hate his vision. You want to hate the fact that Gettleman doesn't seem to know where we're going with this.
I hate the trade because I was blindsided.
You traded somebody who, on his best day, any receiver's best day, is going to touch the football 20 times. 20! And you got a quarterback's ransom for it. I'm sorry. And by the way, if you didn't fudge the entire Landon Collins deal, you wouldn't have had to trade for Jabril Peppers, so that third probably becomes a second.
No, that was a mess.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, they didn't win, but that's not just Beckham.
Yeah,
it's not. I don't understand why people are hating on Beckham so much. Yeah, the guy's a head case.
He's a jerk.
You know what?
What do you mean you don't understand? You know exactly why, Jake.
Yeah, but here...
You put up with it, Nick. How many diva wide receivers are there in the NFL that you put up with because they're talented?
I can name 3.
I mean, we can even throw a fourth on there because apparently, listen, assuming everything gets cleared with him, which it seems like it's going to now, Tyreek Hill, you're putting up with a ton to keep this guy in the league.
Exactly. You put up with it because he's so talented. I understand the old school Giant fans. This isn't Giant football. Blah, 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 more garbage. You know what? Football changes. The NFL changes. 100%. Wide receivers are divas. You're not going to find too many Michael Thomases, Adam Thielens, DeAndre Hopkins that just go out there and do their job. That's not how the NFL is anymore. A lot of these guys are divas. It's not the way it should be. Beckham should have been coached better. That's a Coughlin issue. That's a Reese issue.
That Panther game, he did nothing. He let him fight in the field.
Well, okay. I'm not... Okay, yeah, that was a huge deal when it happened, but you got to remember the context. Coughlin was fighting for his job. You needed Beckham out there to help win, which was maybe, not going to help anyway.
But you still need to do right by him as a player and teach him and say, hey, look, I'm not going to be here for your next year. We all knew Coughlin was gone that
which was
year.
Very sad. But listen.
We all knew that. You have to coach him and say, this is how you need to act to be an elite wide receiver.
And if you remember, that was very unlike Tom Coughlin when that happened, because as you remember, Tom Coughlin was leading with an iron fist most of his tenure with the Giants. And then all of a sudden, that Panther game happens, and he's not doing what he normally does instead of taking him out.
Yep.
I'm listening
I thought he was just asleep at the wheel. He was just letting Beckham vent. I don't think he wanted to deal with it. I thought that was wrong. I thought Reese was wrong. I thought McAdoo was wrong.
A lot of things wrong.
And there was a report that I saw that I thought was interesting. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it. And then I'd like to move on to the Jets, if I may.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. There was a report that came out that said that Pat Shurmur scuttled trade talks with Beckham last year. But after Beckham's comments about Eli in that ESPN interview, Shurmur was all for a trade of Beckham. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
So Gettleman, you listened to the entire interview with Mike today, as did I. Gettleman basically dismissed this whole thing, tried to point it in the idea that
Lipstick
it never happened. It wasn't true. There were never any talks about a Beckham trade. It comes down to who do you believe? Now, I
believe Shermer, to tell you the truth.
You know what, Jake? I'm on your side. You know me. I am always in the favor of the hardworking men and women in the media who work their butts off. Yes, there are some people who fudge stories to get a scoop, but I highly doubt that anybody would fudge this kind of story just to make some noise, especially now looking at the recompense of it. Look what happened. Is it any mystery that after a signing, a $98 million contract?
5 years. Yeah.
For 5 years.
We didn't sign him to trade him.
After this roller coaster of a year. Yeah, we didn't sign him to trade him. After this roller coaster of a year, that all of a sudden, Gettleman turns around. And the question that bothered me the most, Eric, and it would piss you off. He goes, Mike asks him pointedly, did any of the antics, the ESPN interview, did any of those things,
did they factor in?
His durability, missing the last 4 games, did they factor into your choice of trading Odell Beckham Jr.?
And what did he say?
It was a stern, no, not at all.
I don't believe that.
Bull crap.
Well, but how much Gettleman was also saying we're not shopping Beckham. That tells you that they're at least thinking about it.
No, we're not. Everybody's being shopped.
I think the past 2 weeks just tells you that you really can't believe anything Gettleman says. If you read the tea leaves, you know that he's just lying. This guy is completely clueless. He's running the Giants into the ground. This half-baked rebuild that he's doing, we can reload and be competitive. No, you can't. You're either going to go all in for a Super Bowl like the Rams did last year, or you're going to tank for Tua like the Dolphins are doing.
And
I
tank
don't
for
understand
Tua.
it.
Tank for Tua.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're into it. But
I'm not a Dolphins fan. But
and speaking of which, shame on Roger Goodell for not getting on teams about this, because Adam Silver, I wanted your opinion on this before we move to the Jets. And I know it's a hard left turn into basketball. Jake, I wanted to know your thoughts on Adam Silver coming hard, specifically with the Knicks, on teams tanking for number 1 draft spot contention.
Well, Eric knows this because we had talked about it on that other sports show, which is a million times better than this show and has a much better entrance. Oh, my God, the entrance you guys have is so cheesy.
You know what? You
gotta love it. You gotta love it. You love it.
I am nothing if not cheesy, and as Eric would tell you...
I got this is true, too.
Now...
I personally hate tanking. I think it's unfair to the players. It's unfair to the fans. I'm so against it that I would establish an NBA tanking committee where you get 5 members of the media, 5 former players, and 5 former executives. You put them in a room. You go through each non-playoff team, and if they come to a consensus on if the team is tanking, you strip them of all their picks.
Interesting.
Every single one of them.
And you think this would work?
I think it would work. It's a deterrent. It's an absolute deterrent to tanking.
It works.
What's the point of tanking if you're not going to have your picks?
Hey, listen, you know what? I came up with a scenario that kind of got shot down in my family, just talking to my dad and my brother about it. And you know what wound up happening? I had the idea of the first 5 or 6 picks in the draft, the worst, I think I had the worst 3 and 4 teams, and the best 3 and 4 teams would find themselves in a lottery for the back end, and everybody kind of in the middle of the road.
Why don't you just give everybody that missed the playoffs an equal shot at number 1?
That's interesting, but the thing is there were a lot of teams that are at the bottom that honestly tried to win, and they could really use a player like Zion Williamson. I don't think the Knicks deserve Zion, to be honest with you. They threw this season away. They threw their future away. They're banking on Durant and Kawhi and Kyrie Irving coming here. It's not going to work. Yeah. There is no max free agent that's going to come here. And I don't want to hear that Chris Middleton is a true max free agent because he's not.
No, he's absolutely not. Middleton's
even Jimmy Butler, too, is interesting.
He's a very good shooter, but he's not a max free agent. Get out of here. A desperate team will sign him to it.
Yeah, definitely.
The Knicks are going to end up overpaying for Middleton. They may end up overpaying for Butler, depending on how he feels about the Sixers. But that's it. You're not getting one of the marquee guys.
By the way, Sixers making a huge statement last night. Statement game beating the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, between him and Giannis going at it, it was interesting. I'm sorry, Ben Simmons and Giannis going at it. It was interesting. I don't know if you guys caught that, but it was a great game.
Fantastic game.
Yeah, didn't Giannis call Simmons a baby?
He did.
Giannis dropped 50.
Nice.
Giannis is big.
They were great.
He is my favorite player in the NBA to watch.
Oh,
he's
God.
a large man.
Now, on to the Jets. I know we got to get you in there, Jake, and we do want to take a break before we start getting into NCAA March Madness. By the way, before we go in the break after the Jets, feel free to give us your Final Four and who you think's going to win. But Le'Veon Bell, you and I talked off air about this. We discussed it a lot on Friday, but I do want to give it a little bit more airtime because it's such a huge move for the Jets. Your concern, and please correct me if I'm wrong, your concern is Le'Veon Bell being run in a system with Adam Gase that has usually been more of a running back by committee.
Correct.
So why do you think Adam Gase couldn't work with a superstar running back? Le'Veon Bell's going to get his no matter what, in my opinion, but go ahead.
To be honest with you, I don't have an answer for you. That just may be the way he wants to run things. He may view running back as sort of a non-premium position. Okay. I can make non-marquee guys work, and we saw it last year. We saw it with the Chiefs. Spencer Ware and Damian Williams looked like the second coming of Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson. I mean, it does happen, but when you have one of the best players in the NFL, and let's face it, Bell he's a head case too, but you put up with it because he's talented. When you have a marquee free agent that's willing to sign for you for that type of a contract, it's a no-brainer, and you say to your coach, you need to make it work. I mean, you had said to me that Bell is system-proof.
I do. I really do believe that. I think Bell doesn't need a system. I think he's that good. I know I haven't seen him. None of us have seen him in well over a year. But I believe this dude is. I mean, he had over 400 touches the last time he played football. Look at the numbers. I mean, he is an extraordinary running back. And with a year off, a year of little to no wear and tear. I mean,
he's going to be fresh. He's going to be fresh.
Yeah.
He's going to be fresh for sure.
Is there any concern on your guys' end that he's going to be rusty?
The only reason why I do not think he's going to be rusty is because these athletes train year-round for this sport. It's not like he hasn't stopped playing.
That's fair. I just wanted your guys' thoughts because I do value your opinions. That's why I call into the show so much. I feel like I'm calling in too much.
No, you're not, never. Jacob. We appreciate it every time you call in, and especially on your birthday, you're going to apologize for calling your one of your best friend's shows. Come on, Jacob. Have some decency. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Have some class, man.
One thing I find funny. Remember the tweet that was sent out to Le'Veon Bell? It was like, "Would you run for the Jets for $60 million?" He was like, "If it's $60 million, ain't enough to run with the Jets." But then he signs a 3-year, $53 million.
Like I said, he's a head case. He really is.
That was on Twitter. He tweeted back at a fan that
he handled this situation terribly. I thought he should have played last year, but you know what? At the end of the day, I do think he wanted to go to the Jets. I really do. This had been in the works for a long time.
I feel. Go ahead.
And the other moves that he made, sorry, the program director just texted me, wished me a happy birthday.
Nice.
Aww. Sean Novak, great guy.
Actually, happy birthday. The other moves that they made, I don't want to go through them all. I thought they were all good moves. The only issue I had was overpaying for C.J. Mosley. I like Darren Lee. I don't know why they're giving up on him.
What? I like Darren Lee, too.
What about Quincy?
Inunwa, I like. That was a little bit of an overpay, but that was before the offseason had started, and they still had $90 million in cap space, so I can't.
Yeah, I mean, they have to spend the money. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, they signed Tom Compton today, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was like a 1-year, $10 million deal because they need to spend so much money.
All right. Well, I mean, listen, I completely agree with that.
You were trying to come up with something.
No. I was trying to come up with something to combat that with, but it's built too much on logic for me to combat.
Believe it or not, Jacob knows a little thing or two about sports.
Why do you keep on bringing up his old tech? Wow, believe it or not, I know a thing. Shut up, Jake. We get it. So, all right.
It's from the only guy who didn't wish me a happy birthday in the group chat.
I sent you a happy birthday text.
You did not. You said happy Halloween, you jerk.
Happy birthday. I knew you were going to call in. I knew it was getting an opportunity. Jacob, before we let you go, I got to get your final four. I want to hear yours. You can hear ours at the end of the show, but what is your final four?
I have Duke, Virginia, Michigan, and Kentucky, with Duke beating Virginia in the finals.
I like it.
All right.
That might be mine. I'm not sure.
I think...
You haven't done your bracket yet, Eric? You're going to do it live on air?
Absolutely.
We promised each other we would do it without thinking about it. So we're really just kind of going on our basic knowledge here without too much study.
I mean, I watched a lot of college basketball, so I had a pretty...
And let's be honest, this is still a crapshoot anyway.
And I challenge everyone in this room to send this into that $1 billion thing that ESPN does, because if we get the perfect bracket, this show becomes that much better.
See, in mine, I have a lot of upsets, so this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah, yours is going to be completely wrong.
No,
That's
it's
what
not.
That means.
No, it's not, because I have decency on why there will be upsets.
All right,
don't sleep on the Florida Gators.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
I said. Do not sleep on the Florida Gators.
Don't sleep on UCF. I think they're going to be very, very go deep in this tournament. All right.
I have UCF going out in the first round, to tell you the truth.
You're against VCU?
Oh,
no,
I have the good VCU team. They're a good defensive team. I understand Taco Fall, dominant center, but I think VCU can deal with them on the perimeter. I like VCU.
All right.
Jacob, I want this year's Loyola Chicago. What do you think?
Oh,
St.
boy.
John's.
Hold on, I'll give you mine. Hold on, where's mine?
I'm looking at a team like Utah State, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
Very balanced team. Good coach, good system. I have them beating UNC in the second round. I don't like UNC. I'm stunned they're a 1 seed.
Huh. That's interesting. You know what? I'm not shocked. I mean, I'm not shocked.
I like a lot. I like Murray State versus Marquette.
No, Marquette's going to win. Marcus Howard's one of the best players in the nation. They also have a good supporting cast with the Hausers, and Murray State just has John Morant. That's it. Marquette's going to win.
How do you think he's going to do, John Morant?
I like John Morant. I do think he'll drop 20, and he's definitely going to be a high lottery pick.
The other one of the other big ones that I kept looking at, and I think they're charged and ready for a deep run. I don't know how far they'll go because of Zion, because of Michigan, because of Virginia. Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga is. I mean, I know it's
I have Gonzaga losing to Florida State.
They really just have Hachimura.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not in love with Gonzaga this year. I've rode with them before, and they've burned me. And to be honest with you, I really like Marquette this year. I've seen them a lot. I have Marquette as an Elite 8 team.
And the last one I want to give you before we let you go, Villanova. After last year, Jay Wright's team, what do you think? I don't know.
I have them out after round 2.
This isn't the year. I just don't get the feeling about Villanova I've had in years past. And you know me. I am sick and tired of Villanova, for the record.
I have them out after round 2.
I have Nova going to the Sweet 16. I do think they'll beat Purdue in the second round.
Nah.
All Purdue really has is Carson Edwards, and Jay Wright is a fantastic coach, one of the best coaches in the nation. They will lose to Tennessee, though.
Yes, they will.
Yeah,
they will lose to Tennessee, definitely.
Jacob,
Falls or rear?
St. John's, Seton Hall. Who's going further?
Oh, boy. St. John's will beat ASU in their first 4 game.
I think they can beat Buffalo, too.
Buffalo has a very high-powered offense and a great coach in Nate Oates, who I thought should have gone to Vanderbilt. To be honest with you, I think they're both going to be out in the first round. I like Wofford. If Wofford wasn't going up against Kentucky, I would say that Wofford was going to make a deep run, but they can't beat Kentucky.
Wofford is the favorite Cinderella team, it feels like, for everybody. They just kind of hit it on all levels. Great team play, great passing, great team defense. So everybody's high on Wofford. So,
I just don't see him beating Kentucky.
Neither do I.
I think it's a well-rounded Kentucky team. Guys like Bolden, Washington, and Reed Travis, assuming he's healthy. and you can't count out Calipari. You just
can't. Yeah, I mean, he's a terrific coach.
Coaching.
Jacob, thank you so much for the call. A happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And we love having you on. Never feel like you called too much, buddy. We will talk to you very soon, all right?
All right, sounds good. Take care, guys.
All right, take care,
thanks,
Jacob.
Adios.
Man, we got a lot out of that. We got to the Knicks. We got to the to little Adam Silver. We got to the Giants. We got to the Jets. We got to a little bit of March Madness preview, which we will revisit in the last 15 minutes of the show. Probably the last 20 minutes because it's 4 of us doing brackets. So
Dan did his.
I got to tell you, man, Dan did it. Shut up. I really feel like this show's on the right pace. So please, everybody, call up like Jacob just did. Happy birthday, Jacob. 516-572-7440. 516-572-7440.
Happy birthday, Jacob.
7440. And stick around for this wonderful Revelations promo that I'm going to play for you right now. It is WHPC Sports Talk. It's Nick, it's Eric, it's Ross, it's Dan, it's you. Right here on 90.3 WHPC, Garden City.
Shake off the realities of the day, broaden your musical horizons, and embrace the diversity every Monday evening at 6 on Revelations. The show offers a potently unique collection of music with an emphasis on themes and rock rarities, an occasional tour de force of blues and soul, mixed with compelling sets of folk and folk rock. I'm Steve K, and I've got the perfect soundtrack for your drive home every Monday evening at 6 on Revelations. Right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
You gotta keep them separated.
Keep them separated. Yeah, we're back.
Oh, weird. I didn't do it. I was too busy for looking at my bracket. My bad.
At least you're honest.
90.3 WHPC Sports Talk, listenable on 90.3 FM, live and local in Garden City and all across Long Island, everybody. Hi! And also, you can be listening to us around the globe on the iHeartRadio app, on www.nccradio.org, and yeah, man.
Why are you the way you are?
Because it's just... Because it's how I was made. I don't know who made me. Well, actually, I do.
I was born this
way. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Good song. I'm a very, very big fan of what you just did. Now,
of Lady Gaga?
No, of you.
Thank you.
Nick Ohrnberger here. I'm your host. You can follow me at Nick Ohrnberger on Instagram and Twitter. Can't believe it wasn't taken. Eric Fischetti, you can follow on the Twitter at...
What's the matter with you?
I don't know. At Sergeant Fish, and of course on Instagram at Fish5710.
Beautiful.
You can follow Ross Levine at Ross the Boss.
Yes.
At Ross the Boss 131.
131, sorry. At Ross the Boss 131 on Twitter. And of course, you can follow Daniel Morales at Daniel Molo _
You know who it is.
On Instagram. So you can also do us all the favor and follow WHPC Sports Talk on Twitter.
You know who that is.
At WHPC Sports Talk and on Instagram at WHPC Sports. Now, we got more to do. We got plenty more to do. It is March Madness, which means this would be a ruined show, a stupid show, and an unimportant show if we did not fill out brackets and give you our picks on the Monday show right here live.
Yep.
The only one in the room who is done with his is Daniel. is Daniel Molo.
How are you?
So, Dan, I want you to lead this off. NCAA tournament.
Are we going round by round, by the way?
You know what? I really...
Do you want to start in the Sweet 16?
Do you want to start in the Sweet 16?
I mean,
consensus.
Here's what I want.
I'm going on 16.
How about I'll just go through the round 2, and if you guys disagree with me, you guys tell me why.
Okay, exactly. Get to the Sweet 16.
Why? Because we basketball
and
well.
Tell us if we have a problem with one of your picks. We'll argue with you.
All right. So in the first four, I got NC Central beating North Dakota State. Okay. And then I got Temple beating Belmont. I got FDU beating PAV and A&M. And I got St. John's beating Arizona State.
I like St. John's.
I like St. John's, too.
That's why I asked Jacob, who do I think is going to go far?
All right.
Because I'm not sleeping on St. John's.
All right.
I don't think they're going to go far, but I like them.
All right, so in the round 1, I have Duke beating NC Central.
Hate it. Just kidding.
I have UCF beating VCU. I have Liberty beating Mississippi State.
What is wrong with you?
Because there's going to be an upset. Trust me. Mark my words. I have Virginia. Mark my words.
All right, Elmer Fudd. Got it.
I have Virginia Tech beating St. Louis.
Wait, what? I'm sorry.
Virginia Tech beating St. Louis.
Okay.
Tech I have 2.
All right, Maryland's beating Temple.
Okay.
LSU's beating Yale. I have.
That's a big case for upset, in my opinion.
LSU, I think, is just a 2 powerhouse offense for Yale, in my opinion. And then I have Louisville beating Minnesota, and then Michigan State beating Bradley.
Okay.
And then for the West, I'm Gonzaga beating FDU, Syracuse beating Baylor. See, I have Murray State beating Marquette.
I disagree.
I know. Why?
Well, yeah, why? I mean, I
just think Marquette's
I really thought about it, by the way.
I thought about that one for a lot, but I put Murray State because I want to see, what's his name, get into the second.
John Morant.
I want to see John. Yeah, I want to see him get into the second.
That's what I'm afraid of. Honestly, I don't want this to be like a one-man show. Everybody's got to contribute. I have Marquette.
I understand. All right, but then I have Florida State beating Vermont. And then I have Buffalo beating St. John's. I had Texas Tech beating Kentucky, North Kentucky. I have Florida beating Nevada.
Yeah!
And then I have,
Gators.
I have Michigan beating Montana.
Status quo for me.
Okay, so then I have Virginia beating Gardner-Webb. I have Ole Miss beating Oklahoma. Wisconsin is beating Oregon. And UC Irvine's beating Kansas State.
Now, that's interesting. You going against Oregon. I think the Ducks are a big-time sleeper here.
I know, but
I love Wisconsin.
I like Wisconsin, too. I think Wisconsin.
I don't know, man. That's one of the ones. I'm looking at Oregon.
Yes, I understand.
And I'm saying this could be I think they're the real Cinderella here that can go. Not Cinderella, because they're a decent
sleeper.
Team. They're the real sleeper here that can go a long way. I'm not going to tell you how far I have them going yet, because I'm not done. But but I do think I have them going a little. Yeah. You're going to hate me for this Oregon team.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right, do your thing. Then I have Villanova beating St. Mary's.
Okay.
Purdue beating Old Dominion.
Okay.
I have Iowa beating Cincinnati.
Okay. Why?
I just feel like that could be a very good upset because I feel like Iowa can do that, and I feel like Cincinnati chokes in big moments.
When you fill out your brackets,
yes, sir. I mean, right? I filled this out one right now.
I get it. But like in brackets past,
yes,
all right,
yes.
How many upsets do you usually have? Do you think about it, or do you say, I like the numbers in this one? That means they're close.
I sometimes look at past tournaments to see how many upsets there are. Like it's usually like 2 or 3, but then it depends on what round it is in 2.
Okay.
So I feel like in the first round, in the round 1, there's going to be the most upsets. Because I feel like that's when the lower teams, like, that's the time they make their mark. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
that's that mindset. So that's why I will put more upsets in the first round, and then until it gets later. Because once it gets later into the rounds, I feel like the teams that like Duke, the big teams, like, so they're not as rusty anymore. They're playing strong throughout the rest of the tournament. You know. So I feel like in the first rounds, when they're all a little rusty, when they're all coming out, I feel like that's when the bigger upsets are going to be.
Okay.
All right. I mean, you're kind of going with like a math equation there for this.
Hey, it's bracketology.
It's bracketology. It's bracketology. You're such a dick.
Anyway, then I have Tennessee beating Colgate. I have North Carolina beating Iona.
Okay.
I have Washington beating Utah State.
I do too.
Okay, I have Auburn beating New Mexico State.
Same.
I have Northeastern beating Kansas.
Get out of here! Why?
That is ridiculous.
That is so dumb.
That is going to be the bracket buster. That is going to be the bracket, but not my bracket.
Right.
Not my bracket. Not my bracket. It's gonna. Trust me. Northeastern is gonna go nuts. Northeastern is that one school that I see every year that somehow makes a magical moment in the NCAA tournament. And I feel like they're going to do it again.
You're out of
Do you hear yourself?
Yeah, like, when you speak, do you understand the words?
Yes, I do. No, I understand.
That's ridiculous,
hey,
Dan.
My bracket.
You got a better chance of Nova beating Tennessee.
My bracket's my bracket.
Fine, whatever.
We're aware of that. You made it.
Yes,
like,
I know.
We know how it works.
Okay.
You put a pen to paper. We watched you do it.
And this one that I picked today, right now, I could make one tomorrow or like later tonight and have Kansas beating Northeastern. I was like on my flip bracket.
Oh, I'm going to make one that has Florida going all the way.
Anyway, we'll get to that after.
All right.
And then I have Iowa State beating Ohio State.
Okay, good.
I have Houston beating Georgia State.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Iowa State beating Ohio State?
I like it.
I picked the upset. I got Ohio State.
You picked Ohio
State?
Interesting, very interesting. Why do I get attacked for when I
Because mine are reasonable. You got Kansas losing, you dummy.
But anything's possible. Like Virginia lost last year. They're the 1 seed. Virginia lost last year to UMBC.
Well, that's different.
Come on.
That's different. Virginia choked.
That's what I'm saying. Kansas can choke too. Anyway, I have Seton Hall beating Wofford.
Okay.
And then I have Kentucky beating Alpine Christian, which is pretty obvious.
Okay.
And so now we're in the Sweet 16.
The only thing that I disagree with you, I think Seton Hall is going to lose. I like Wofford too.
I like both teams, but I feel like Seton Hall is going to have that low key Cinderella, not really Cinderella because they're going to lose Kentucky. But sorry,
a low key 1 round.
A low key 1 round, yeah.
Good for them.
Good things.
All right, so Sweet 16. So should I leave this one off, Nick? Do you want me to leave this one off? What do you?
Yeah, go ahead.
No. We didn't say stop at Sweet 16. We're trying to say let's start at Sweet 16, and if we had a problem with anything, we would tell you. But just keep going.
So I have Duke beating UCF.
Yeah.
In mine, and then I have Virginia Tech beating Liberty. So I have Duke and then Virginia Tech. Then I have LSU beating Maryland. And then I have, you guys can yell at me for this one. I have Louisville beating Michigan State.
What?
What is the matter with you, my dude? Why?
I mean, we all know who's going to win that side of the bracket anyway.
First of all, I don't...
Okay. All right, then I have Gonzaga beating Syracuse.
I picked Syracuse.
I mean, I understand where that was, but in this one, I feel like Gonzaga is going to go past.
I think Syracuse is the true Cinderella team, honestly.
I know. I like Syracuse.
Especially
really
everything that school's gone through, especially everything that Boeheim's gone through. I think those kids are going to be fighting for him.
Do it for Boeheim is what I'm thinking.
I have Florida State beating Murray State. I have Texas Tech beating Buffalo.
Okay.
And then I have Florida beating Michigan.
I love you, but I disagree with you.
I know, but then you're not. I have Florida as an Elite 18, but we're not going to talk about it.
Beating Michigan.
Why? Let's talk about it.
We'll talk about it when we get there.
All right, fine.
I have Ole Miss beating Virginia.
Okay.
I have Wisconsin beating UC Irvine, which is probably a mop.
Then what do you like about Ole Miss so much?
I don't know. I feel like Ole Miss is I feel like they're going to be my Cinderella team. Then I have Purdue beating Villanova. Then I have Tennessee.
I'm not in love with Villanova.
I'm not in love with Villanova either. Then I have Tennessee beating Iowa.
Okay.
I have North Carolina beating Washington.
Okay.
I have Auburn beating Northeastern. I have Iowa State beating Houston, actually. And then I have Kentucky beating Seton Hall.
Huh.
Okay.
There's a lot.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yep, you guys talk.
Are you talking specifically Sweet 16?
Yeah, just the Sweet 16.
Okay, so for the Midwest for me, I have Houston, Kentucky. I have North Carolina, Kansas. I have Villanova and Tennessee, and I have Virginia, Wisconsin. And then on the East, I have Duke, Virginia Tech. I have Maryland, Michigan State. I have Syracuse and Marquette. I have Texas Tech and Michigan.
Interesting. Ross, what do you have for your Sweet 16?
I have Duke is 1. I have UCF is 2. Mississippi State, Virginia Tech.
Wait, no.
The next one. The next one.
Wait,
Sweet 16.
Oh.
You know, the one before the Elite 8.
Oh, okay. Let me see.
That's okay. We'll just come back to you if you want.
Wait.
You got it?
WHPC. I have Maryland, Belmont.
Okay,
Belmont Temple here.
Okay, so for the Sweet 16 on my side, again, I have Duke, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Michigan State, Syracuse, Marquette, and then Texas Tech, Michigan.
All right.
On my side, I have Duke, Virginia Tech, LSU, Louisville, Gonzaga, Florida State, Texas Tech, Florida, and then in the South, I have Ole Miss, Wisconsin, Purdue, Tennessee, Midwest, North Carolina, Auburn, Iowa State, Kentucky. Nick, what do you have for your Sweet 16?
So my Sweet 16 is interesting. I'm going Duke, Vatech. I think I actually have Vatech getting in against Mississippi State. Duke is going to make short work of them. That's where I'm at.
Okay.
LSU, MSU. We also are going to have. Let's see. What else do I have? I have LSU, MSU, right? Michigan State. LSU. I have Q's and Marquette. I got Q's and Marquette, which means I have Q's beating Gonzaga, and I have Marquette beating Florida State University. Yeah, so I think that's an interesting one. Then I have, you guys are going to hate this one. I have seen...
Where are you at?
He's at West bottom. He's bottom or West.
I'm at the West.
Okay.
Then I have St. John's against Florida in the Sweet 16.
Stop.
Yes.
St. John's will beat Texas Tech.
Stop.
Florida will beat Michigan.
I believe that too.
And Florida and St. John's will go on. Florida will win.
I'm not even trying to be a homer here. I don't think Florida's getting past Michigan.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
I
really do.
I think Michigan is going to choke.
But we have a couple callers on the line. We will tell them to hold just for a little bit longer, and we'll get you out there. I just want to get my Sweet 16 out there. Virginia versus Oregon. Purdue against the Vols. Purdue winning it. I have Purdue going to the Elite Eight. I do. I have NC.
UNC.
I got UNC going up against Kansas and winning. And I have
wait. North Carolina beating Kansas?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I have Iowa State against Kentucky. Kentucky going to the Elite Eight.
Nobody likes Houston.
It's interesting
So my Elite Eight is Duke, Louisville, and then I have Florida State, Florida, Wisconsin, Tennessee, and then North Carolina, Kentucky.
Okay.
I don't hate any of those. Before we go any further, we do have a caller, so let's get them on real quick. Caller, you're on WHPC Sports Talk. Who am I talking to?
What's going on, man?
Oh, it's Brandon. It's the saucy man himself. What's going on, there, Brandon?
Not much. Yeah, I'm liking the commentary going on so far. We're talking about St. John's. I mean, this is...
I know!
That DJ Steph?
Their coach.
Yeah.
That's DJ Steph.
What's going on, Daniel?
What up, Steph?
What do we think about the Johnnies this year, man? Why do you think it took them so long to get to the tourney?
I don't
Chris Mullen.
Yeah.
Coaching, honestly. I think that Mullen is really getting these kids right. I don't love their season this year, but listen, Brandon, they did enough to earn
make
a berth.
But I'm not going to lie, Brandon. I think they're going to lose to Buffalo. Buffalo has a high-powered offense that will take down St. John's. I'm not going to lie to you.
And also, I want to get to my next point, since I never got to talk about the Giants, and, I like,
Brandon, I'm all ears.
Me too.
Eric, you can understand where I'm coming from, because, look, this is where I'm at right now, right? Because sometimes I feel like, I hate the trade, and I'm undecided, because the reason why I say I hate is because, of course, we got a star receiver that we haven't seen put up numbers like him in his first 4 years in the NFL, breaking history, you know what I mean? But then at the same time, I'm undecided because it's like, okay, we're getting Jabril Peppers, we're getting first and a third, but still at the same time,
Brandon,
is it really worth it?
Brandon, do you really want this back on your team?
That's more of a question for Coach.
Why not?
Knowing that they struggled in the secondary.
You make it louder.
Personally, I would have loved to attack them, but it wasn't in our game plan. So.
All right, wait, hold on, wait.
So Odell Beckham calling out coaches. You want that back?
Nick Ohrnberger's pulling out all clips right now.
Every receiver wants the ball.
Come on.
Oh God,
Look
Brandon,
at
stop
Brown
it!
And what he's gone through.
You
Come
got
on,
a
Nick.
quarterback's ransom for this guy. Be happy. You don't be happy with the direction of your team. That's fine. That's fine. That's why I have no problem with Jacob Volk's point, because he's fine with the haul. He doesn't like the fact that doesn't seem to be anything after that. There doesn't seem to be a direction. I understand that, but why do you want Odell Beckham Jr.? He's a cancer.
Do you think that Odell makes Eli better?
Don't say that, man. Nah, I mean, of course he makes Eli 10 times better. Are you kidding me?
Brandon, I got news for you. Brandon, every single Super Bowl has been won without Odell Beckham Jr. I promise you, that's a statistic. Look it up.
I got you. Okay, I mean, but still at the end of the day, I mean, this guy here, I mean, he really puts numbers for Eli in his past, 4 or 5 years. He's been with the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, anybody could throw a ball to Odell and he goes 90 yards down the field. Come on,
listen,
man.
And that's,
come on,
okay,
man.
Wait, Brandon.
I need you in the studio, Brandon. Next week,
Brandon, you were here.
We got to fight about this.
Wait, hold on. In fairness, Brandon, you have to realize this too. Whenever somebody calls out Eli Manning, it's basically a cardinal sin, because Eli's the golden boy. He can never do any wrong. The face of the franchise for a lot of years, which I get. But Brandon, Manning's in the back nine of his career. He might retire after this year.
And Gettleman's in complete denial with him. He thinks he can still play. I just think he's done.
Look, if you have a line in front of him, if you give him time, maybe, but now it's going to be harder. Honestly.
He falls down when there's no contact.
I'm confused about.
What?
Because I keep telling people.
This man's old, bro.
Look, let me say this, and then I'm gonna hang up the phone.
We do have another caller, so go ahead, real quick.
Real quick. Because look at Eli, and then we look at Tom Brady. Obviously, Tom Brady's great. We're not gonna deny it. He's 41. So why can't Eli be the same type of guy?
Because he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it, bro. I love you to death, Brandon. You know I love you. And I want you on the show Monday so we can argue about this in person.
It's coaching, honestly.
But we're running out of time.
We were 25 and 34 with Beckham on the field.
But that's not in spite of Beckham, Ross.
But that's not. But it's not helping.
Like
not the answer.
We're not winning with him.
Thank you.
What's the point of keeping him?
Thank you.
Because he's an elite receiver.
This is ridiculous.
We did not win.
We have another caller on the line. Caller, identify yourself to the world.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Hi, Dave. Can you please fix this? We're
Can you
off
calm
the
the room down, please? It's getting hot in here.
Just remember, I'm in my 60s. It's the best move the Giants have ever made.
Thank you.
Other than drafting LT.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Other than drafting LT, you're right.
But wait, hold on. Wait.
Yes. Remember, I'm older than you. Be nice.
Listen. I am very nice to you, Dave. I'm not trying to fight with you because you might send the world up to me. But why do you think that this was such a good move?
It was a good haul as far as drafting. We have 5 picks in the first 100, and with the teams that are going to be looking for the number 6 pick for a young quarterback, I'm not saying a good quarterback, that number 6 pick is going to blossom into some really good defense, hopefully some very good defensive players. The 17 pick should produce defense also, and the Giants' second-round pick is almost a first-round. They can bundle their picks and go wherever they want to go now, or they can keep falling back, and you have to restock the defense.
Do you find it odd, and I get it, you want to accumulate picks, I completely understand it. Do you find it odd that with Odell Beckham Jr. not being a Giant anymore, don't you find it odd that Eli Manning is still here, though?
He's here for another year. Okay, that's it. It's whether the Giants whether the Giants go after somebody in the 3rd round and accepts the fact that he's going to sit on the bench. And when Eli doesn't have it next year, you might go out and get a stopgap Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm only kidding when I say that, but a fill-in quarterback.
Where did he sign? He signed
Miami.
Dolphins. Yeah.
Fitzmagic in Miami. That's gonna be great.
That's gonna be great.
No, the reason I called is when the politically correct police start listening to this show in the future, and you have to start talking about basketball, and you can't use the word beat. What words are you going to use as far as one
dismantled?
Dismantled, yeah.
But as far as one team overtaking another team,
yeah,
conquering another team.
Go on.
No. But you've got to come up with some politically correct terms as far as one team outdistancing the other team.
So where do we
toppled? Oh no, I can't.
Where do we go?
That's what I'm. You're the college guy, not me.
Well, come on, Dave. You can't.
You know I'm not smart,
Dave. No. I haven't. He's Dave's on the show giving us homework, and what am I supposed to say?
I do homework. I started to do homework now.
I graduated.
I think you should go back to like Wile E. Coyote and stuff like that, and you know you got to use what was politically correct with Walt Disney. So I mean, like I said, it's a fun world when you start talking about the marshalling of somebody's speech and language and stuff. And of course, I heard you before. You said you hated a team. How could you hate a team? But again, like I said, that's beside the point.
I loathe the team.
Now you're learning.
I don't like as much.
I am discontent with the team. You know what I mean? It's kind of like,
I loathe the New Orleans Saints.
Well, but he's right about the whole political correctness. Like, you're afraid of using words now. Like,
this is participation trophy era. It's terrible.
Well, I'm just saying you're afraid to use certain words.
I want.
People are, like with the whole, and I'm not disempowering them. The Me Too movement. I never want to say those words again. I'd rather say I am also going there.
No, I hate
never say. I don't even use the word.
Also. Me as well.
Yeah.
Well, the Saints are the worst team.
This team might outlast the other team.
Yeah. We'll find out. Dave, do you have a Final Four you want to throw out there before we wrap up the show here?
Are you doing the rounds? Are you doing the same brackets? The rounds? The 4 of them the same order?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, okay. Yes.
The last 4 numbers is my phone number is what? 1121. There you go.
So he's Duke.
Okay.
So
Gonzaga.
Okay.
1121. I don't
Tennessee,
know. I'm
North Carolina.
Okay. That's actually not terrible. I like it.
There you go.
All right.
I love it.
Dave from Franklin Square, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the call. Man,
there's no zeros, so
yeah, there is no zeros. That would have been funny if there was a 0 in it. And it'd be like, wait a minute, we don't know where to look. All right. Listen, guys, we have to wrap this up. Steve K in the building. He will be on air with you very, very shortly for Revelations. Go nowhere. For the 2-minute drill today, it's your Final Four. Who wins the championship? Eric, you're going to lead us off, buddy.
Go Dukies! You're winning it all.
All right, so what?
Your Final Four, and who's winning, Eric? Come on.
All right, Duke, Michigan, North Carolina, Tennessee.
Okay.
Duke plays North Carolina. Duke wins.
Okay.
Revenge of the Zion.
So you got Duke, Michigan. Okay, gotcha. All right, sounds good. Ross, what do you got?
I have my Final Four: Duke, Kentucky, Virginia, and Georgia State.
Okay, Georgia State, really?
Yeah.
Are they Loyola Chicago this year? Okay.
All right. Dan, what do you got?
I got Duke, Florida State, Tennessee, North Carolina, with Duke beating North Carolina in the finals. Revenge of Zion.
Interesting. I think so.
Yeah,
I like that pick. I don't have it, though. I got Duke versus Florida. Duke going in. Virginia versus North Carolina.
You have
Virginia
Duke,
going
Florida?
in. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it, but I don't agree.
And then I have Duke beating Virginia for the Final Four. So that's what I got for you. Hate it or love it, you probably hate it.
My bracket's the best.
No, mine is going to win. We're going to take pictures of them. We're going to argue over them all day long, all week long, all March Madness long. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. I think I speak for everybody, for Eric Fischetti, for Ross Levine, for Dan Morales.
You know
Stick around for Steve K and Revelations. I'm Nick Ohrnberger saying, what a great broadcast, but it's time to say, which we are, but don't worry, even though we're going to be back next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Please tip your waitress and try the chicken.
Yep.
We'll see you next week. 90.3 WHPC, Garden City.
Programming on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by the Center for Workforce Development at Nassau Community College. What does depression look like? What would you say to someone you know that is thinking about committing suicide? Getting your mental health first aid certification can improve your ability to...
This show is brought to you by the NYCB Theater at Westbury, who presents Dick Fox's Doo-Wop Extravaganza, starring Jimmy Beaumont Skyliners, Gary U.S. Bonds, Danny and the Juniors, featuring Joe Terry, The Times, The Elegants, and Bobby Wilson, with a tribute to his father, Jackie Wilson. It's happening Sunday, March 31st at 6 p.m. More information can be found online at the theater at westbury.com.
Want more sports? We have more sports.
Let's get it.
Catch WHPC Sports Talk all week to get your sports fix.
Break it down.
Monday mornings at 9. Monday afternoons at 5. Tuesday afternoons at 5. Thursday nights at 9. And Friday afternoons at 3.
Come and get some of this.